G'day, Jason the Middle-Aged Gear Junkie here. Recently I did something I've never done before. I purchased a guitar online without ever playing it first. The guitar in question is a Gibson Les Paul Players Edition from 2018, so it's secondhand, with P90s in a satin ocean blue finish. I had a few reasons for buying this guitar. Firstly, I've never owned a Gibson Les Paul before and I've wanted one for some time. I have had a Les Paul copy in the past, but never a genuine Gibson. Secondly, I don't have a guitar with P90s. Now, all of my guitars in my collection serve a certain purpose. I don't have more than one of the same type of guitar, and I don't have more than one guitar with the same pickups or pickup configuration. So having a guitar now with P90s it means it has its own niche within my collection. The specifics on this guitar are as you would expect. It's a mahogany body with a maple cap. The neck feels really good in the hand. The fretboard is made out of something called Richlite, which is a synthetic substance. Although it's made out of a synthetic substance, you don't even really notice it. I mean, I like the way that it looks and it doesn't sound or feel any different to a wooden one, so it doesn't bother me one bit. We have Grover tuners and we have standard Gibson P90 pickups. The Players series is somewhere between the Studio series, which is their cheapest Gibson line, and the Standard series. So for example, the Studio series does not have binding, where the Players series has a single layer of binding around the guitar. We have a pearl inlay for the Gibson logo, which again, you don't get for the Studio version. But because this is not as high-end as a Standard, that's part of the reason why we don't have a rosewood or ebony fretboard. Also, the tuners are not Gibson standard tuners either. As I've already mentioned, this guitar has P90s, and I was quite interested to see how they would go with my rig, and I was quite surprised to find that the bridge pickup has very, very little bass. And then when you flick it over to the neck pickup, there's a huge surge of bottom end and fullness to it. So, I mean, I'll give you a demonstration just playing clean how different the two pickups sound from each other. The bridge pickup's got a lot of attitude and a lot of growl to it. However, it's not a high gain pickup, so it's not going to do your hard rock and heavy metal particularly well, but it does that sort of classic rock sound really, really well. And I'll demonstrate what it sounds like playing some chords, but also playing some lead lines as well. My favorite aspect of this guitar is definitely the neck pickup. It has a very broad frequency range, so it's just very full sounding. It sounds beautiful with chords and it's very good for mellow lead lines as well. I found that in particular Klon style pedals agree with it very, very well. The two are kind of like a match made in heaven. It's different from a Stratocaster neck pickup, which tends to be a bit more spanky, which has just sort of more high mids, I suppose, tend to come out. This is much more well-rounded, and it's I love the tone from it. On this channel, I'm not afraid to give criticism where I think it's due. I have myself copped a bit of flack for doing that in the past, but I think, I'm trying to give possible consumers my opinion. And Gibson haven't paid me any money to do this, and I paid for this guitar out of my own money, so I feel that I have the right to bring a few other things up. So there are two aspects about this guitar that do bother me. Firstly is the tuners. This guitar does have some problems holding its tune. I had it set up by my repairer. He was able to fix a back bow in the neck, possibly because the previous owner had heavier strings than I did. But the tuning issue is not something that I can fix without changing the tuners out. Now, why you might think, well, that's an easy job, Jason. Anybody can do that. Well, when you're selling a guitar for $3,000, it should stay in tune a little bit better. And this is more expensive than any of my other guitars, and I can tell you that most of my other guitars stay in tune better than this one. So that's a bit of a downer for me. The other thing that I have issue with is the inconsistency with the finish on the top. Now, it looks like this guitar has some scratches on it or some abrasions, but that's not actually the case. This is completely smooth. These are just areas where the finish hasn't been evenly applied. And if you have a look at the bottom half, we don't have that as much of a problem with the bottom half as we do with the top half. So I'm a bit disappointed that that got through quality control, why it wasn't refinished or fixed up a little bit to make it look a little nicer. I do understand this is not a standard Gibson Les Paul, but it doesn't mean that it should go out with things wrong with it. So these are things I think that Gibson need to consider. When you are a premium brand, you need to put out premium products. As a whole, I'm pretty pleased with this guitar. It looks good, it feels nice to play, and it sounds good. So this will be in my collection for some time to come. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you've got any questions about this particular guitar that you would like me to answer, if you're thinking about purchasing something like this, then please hit me up in the comments. Remember, you can join the Middle Aged Gear Junkie Facebook page in the description below. Other than that, my name is Jason. Have a great day. I'll see you later.